Hey everyone, today we're taking a look at GRRNcoin, a new kind of digital money that's built from the ground up with one thing in mind: real, actual privacy. So let's just dive right in.
I want you to just think about this for a second. Seriously. Imagine every single purchase you make, every paycheck you get, your entire savings. What if all of that was just out there on a public website for anyone to see? Sounds absolutely wild, right? Well, here's the thing. For a huge part of the crypto world, that level of total exposure is actually the default setting. And that gets us to a really big problem.
And this is what we call the blockchain privacy paradox. See, with traditional banking, everything is private by default. Your finances are your business. But with most public blockchains, it's the exact opposite. They are transparent by default. Your entire financial history is an open book. Now look, that kind of radical transparency can be awesome for things like auditing, but for your personal privacy, it's a huge issue. So the big question is, how do you get all the benefits of blockchain tech without broadcasting your entire financial life to the world?
Well, GRRNcoin tackles this paradox with a really smart two-part solution. And first up on the list is hiding the actual amount of money being sent. This is absolutely crucial because if anyone can see the amounts, they can easily figure out things like salaries, a company's revenue, or just your personal spending habits.
The magic behind this is a technology called confidential transactions, and it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a clever cryptographic trick that encrypts the transaction amount, so the network can still do its job and verify that the transaction is legit, that no money was just created out of thin air, but only the people actually involved, the sender and the receiver, can see the value being exchanged.
To really get a feel for this, let's use a super simple analogy. Let's just imagine you want to send some money to a friend. Now, instead of handing them a wad of cash out in the open, what if you put it inside a locked briefcase first?
Here's how that whole journey works. Step 1, you, the sender, pack the digital briefcase with the money. Step 2, you lock it up. And this isn't just any lock. It's a special cryptographic lock called a Peterson commitment. It proves there's a real positive amount of money inside without revealing what that amount is. Pretty cool, right? Step 3, the network acts like a security guard. It can check the lock, make sure it's legit and hasn't been messed with, but it has no way to see what's inside the briefcase. And finally, step 4, only the person you're sending it to has the one-of-a-kind key to unlock it. The result, the transfer is totally secure and the amount completely confidential.
Right, so we've successfully hidden the amount, but that's really only half the battle. Think about it. If everyone can still see that a locked briefcase was delivered right to your front door, they can still track all your financial activity. So the next piece of the puzzle is hiding the destination itself.
And the way GRRNcoin pulls this off is with something called stealth addresses. This system is brilliant. It means your wallet automatically generates a brand new single-use address for every single payment that comes your way. So you can share your main address with the public, no problem, but no one on the blockchain can actually link any of those incoming payments back to you or to each other.
The best way to think about this is like having a magic P.O. box. You've got one public address you can give out to anybody, but every time someone sends you something, it magically gets delivered to a totally new secret P.O. box that only you even know exists. Now, this whole system works because of two different keys. First, you've got the viewing key. Think of this as your P.O. box scanner. It lets you peer into the system and see all the new mail that's arrived for you, but it's invisible to everyone else. Then you have the spending key. Now this is the master key. It's the only thing that can actually open those secret P.O. boxes and give you access to the funds inside. And this separation is incredibly powerful. A business, for example, could give its viewing key to an auditor for transparency, but without ever risking the security of their actual funds.
And don't just take my word for it. Professor Matthew Green, an applied cryptographer at Johns Hopkins, he puts it perfectly. He says stealth addressing is one of the most elegant solutions out there. It gives you a public-facing address, but a totally private ledger. It's basically the best of both worlds. It's how traditional banking has always worked.
Okay, so we've been deep in the weeds on the how all this tech works. But now let's zoom out and talk about the why. Why does building all this complex privacy tech even matter? What's the actual real-world impact? Well, the benefits are huge, and they're for everyone. Think about families sending money back home to relatives abroad. Privacy means they're not putting a target on their family's back. Or how about businesses? It means they can protect their revenue figures and their supply chain info from prying competitors. For big institutions, it's about being able to invest on-chain without telegraphing their entire strategy to the market. And really, for all of us, it's just about the basic human right to keep our financial lives private and secure.
But these two big features, stealth addresses and confidential transactions, they don't exist in a vacuum. They're actually part of a much bigger privacy toolkit. For instance, GRRNNetwork also uses things like zero-knowledge proofs, which let the network verify that all the rules are being followed without seeing any of the private data. And then there's selective disclosure, which is a powerful tool that lets you reveal specific transaction details to, say, an auditor or a regulator without having to open up everything. You see, putting all these layers together is what creates truly robust privacy. But there is a trade-off. All this advanced cryptography means more data and more computation, which can lead to slightly bigger transactions or higher fees. It's basically the price you pay for building real privacy into the very heart of the system.
And that really leaves us with this final thought. As more and more of our money becomes digital, our privacy can't just be an add-on or an afterthought. It has to be a foundational, built-in feature from day one. So the real question we should be asking isn't if we need digital money, but how do we build it in a way that protects our fundamental right to privacy from the start? Thanks for tuning in.